What is it, Nova? Ebony groggily asked. She awoke with her dragon stirring restlessly inside her head. The sun is only an hour away from rising, and this may be the last time I will get to stretch my wings for a long while. Also, it may be the last chance for you to train, Nova snapped. Ebony was instantly awake with a scowl on her face. Today should have been a fabulous day, but no. Her 18th birthday was not going to be a good day. All because of the plans her father, King Liam, had made against her wishes. He was planning a grand ball in her honor for her 18th birthday. It was expected that a royal princess should have the most prestigious ball of the year for her 18th birthday, so Ebony had been eagerly awaiting the event. She couldn't wait to dance the night away with the young nobles of Valerian until her aching feet couldn't take another step. Ebony remembered that morning like it was yesterday, even though it had been nearly 3 months ago since he informed her of his real intentions. Ebony had decided the storm was too bad to attend her training. She then pulled her covers over her head to drown out the noise of the storm while she snuggled in the warmth of her bed. Just as Ebony was comfortable and on the edge of falling back to sleep, there was someone pounding on her locked bedroom door. She kept her door locked against the king's wishes because she didn't want anyone walking into her room to find her gone while she was slipping out through her window to fly to her training sessions. "Is there a fire or something?" Ebony angrily yelled. "Open the door, princess." Ebony's nanny Elsie yelled back through the door. "The king wants to see you in the library now." Nova chuckled. "What did you do now?" Ebony shook her head as if Nova could see her. "I don't know, but let's get this over with." Ebony sighed as she slid her feet into her slippers. She slowly made her way to the door. As soon as she unlocked the door, Elsie shoved her way in. "Get dressed quickly. He called for you almost an hour ago, but no one wanted to disturb you at that hour." Ebony could tell Elsie was serious. She wasn't acting afraid of Ebony like she usually did. Elsie was more afraid of the king than his daughter. Elsie quickly helped Ebony get dressed, and they soon made their way to the library. King Liam was pacing the floor of the room when Ebony timidly knocked on the open door. He didn't look at his daughter or speak. He just nodded his head in acknowledgement. Ebony slowly stepped into the room. "What's up, Dad?" she asked in her sweetest little girl voice. "Sit down, Ebony," the king said in a strict fatherly tone. "What now?" groaned Ebony to Nova. "Well, let's see," snarked Nova. "Maybe he found out that every morning possible you run into the forest to train illegally with one of the soldiers from his army. Or maybe he knows about your argument with your brother. Let's just hope it's the latter." Panic filled her body as she considered the possibility of the first option that Nova had presented her. "Ebony, are you listening to me?" King Liam's voice pulled her away from the conversation Nova and she were having in her head. "Maybe he found out about me." Nova panicked. Ebony ignored Nova and turned her focus back to her father. "I am sorry, Dad. I am not totally awake yet. Could you call a servant in to restock the fire before we continue?" "I'm cold," Ebony said, hoping to soften his stern demeanor as she motioned to the dying fire in the fireplace. "Quit the sweet little girl act," he sighed. "You're not in trouble. There is something we need to discuss." Ebony's eyes opened wide in astonishment as she watched her father walk over and shut the library door. Then he returned to the fireplace and stirred the dying flames himself before adding a couple of logs. "Not in trouble," exclaimed Ebony to Nova. "Then what could it be for him to act like this? He does seem pretty serious, but if he doesn't know about me or your training sessions, then it can't be all that bad," murmured Nova in reply. Ebony turned all her attention back to her father as he sat down to face her. He looked like he didn't know where to start. Usually he was very much in control of every situation, but he seemed hesitant to start. "He's afraid of your reaction," stated Nova. "As you know, you turn 18 in 3 months. You also know that your mother is going all out to throw the biggest ball of the year. But what you don't know is that I have sent invitations to all the neighboring countries' princes. You will choose one among them to marry." The king raised his hand as Ebony opened her mouth in protest. "You will do as you are told," he said sternly. Ebony shut her mouth irritably. Inside her head she could hear Nova violently protesting the announcement. The little girl act was gone and the fight was on. "No, I am not. I told you. I told you I didn't ever want to marry. I haven't even gotten my dragon yet," she lied to him. "Who is going to want a dragonless princess?" Ebony tried to calm her wrath and fake some crocodile tears. "Can't I just enjoy the ball and wait to continue this discussion after I get my dragon?" King Liam's eyes softened a little bit. Seems like you're getting through to him, Nova noted as she observed him through Ebony's eyes. I have decided that, whether your dragon has manifested or not, you will marry before the year is over. I have even sent an invitation to the princes of Pyoria, he said as he steeled himself against her plea. You did what? Ebony screamed at her father. What's done is done. You will find someone to marry at the ball. You can throw all the fits you want, but my mind is made up. I am tired of your shenanigans, Ebony. King Liam's voice boomed as he continued berating his daughter. I am tired of your bad attitude and the way you lord yourself over your brothers, as if you are going to reign as Queen of Valerian. Being firstborn does not give you any privileges in this nation. Women do not rule. They give birth to the princes who will one day rule. They support their husbands and raise their children. King Liam eyed his daughter, daring her to say another word. Ebony swallowed uneasily, feeling embarrassed. Her father was speaking loudly, and she knew his words echoed in the halls of the castle. Leave it, Nova said quietly in her mind. We have 3 months to figure something out. Ebony relaxed her body a little bit before challenging her father. What are you going to do if I refuse to do as you command? Because this is a command, right, Your Majesty? Don't push me, Ebony. Yes, this is a command, and you will do as you are commanded by your king. I may be your father, but I am also your king, he shouted. Ebony stepped back from King Liam. She had made him angry before, but she had never seen him like this. You are willful and wild. I have tolerated your unbecoming behavior for far too long. You will concentrate on how to run a household from now on. In the next 3 months, you will learn how to plan formal balls, oversee the household servants, and anything else your mother decides to teach you. Ebony thought his tirade would never end. If you don't pick a mate at the ball, I will marry you to the first single man that walks up to the castle gate first thing the next morning. Do you understand? Ebony took another step back from her father in shock. He couldn't be serious. Heat flushed her body as wrath cloaked her like fire. Just as quickly she felt Nova sending calming thoughts to her before she lost total control. Ebony lowered her eyes and stared at the floor before asking one more question of the king. I will do as you say, but I have one favor to ask. Ebony waited patiently for him to reply. The king observed his daughter's defeated demeanor. He sighed. Ask and I will decide if it's reasonable. Ebony continued staring at the floor as she spoke. If I submit to your commands willingly, will you please let me continue my morning walks until after the ball? She looked at him with pleading eyes. You know how much I enjoy my morning walks. I won't be able to walk the lands of my homeland after I am shipped to another country. Ebony let a tinge of bitterness creep into her voice. King Liam sighed. You may have your mornings to yourself. He shook his head. I have never seen a girl that loves to spend so much time in the forest. Sometimes I worry about you. If you weren't so set to remain single, I would assume the worst, he continued, softening now. But I have never seen you so much as give a man a look unless you are on the dance floor, and even then I know the glow in your eyes comes from your love of dancing. That seems to be the only womanly art you have fully embraced. You are my only daughter. I love you, and it will sadden my heart when you leave. But this is your duty to your homeland, King Liam said, trying to give her a hug. But she backed up and curtsied to her father before turning away. She opened the door and stepped into the hallway. She could see her brothers scurrying away down the hall. Ebony snorted. Awesome, she commented to Nova. When Ebony got to her room, she sat dejected on the side of her bed, lost in thought as she went over the conversation that she had just had with her father. Nova, too, remained quiet. Suddenly, Ebony jumped up and started pacing angrily. Pyoria! He said he sent invitations to the princes of Pyoria. How could he? Ebony yelled. Nova stayed quiet. Pyoria was their fiercest enemy. But now, after centuries of wars between the two countries, King Liam and King Ayan have finally reached a truce. The enmity between Alarion and Pyoria had been going on for so long that many couldn't even remember why they hated each other or what started the wars. It took years for King Liam and King Ayan to work out disputes over borders, trade routes, and other different issues. When the day arrived to sign the treaty, there was still so much mistrust among the kings themselves that they sent emissaries to sign the treaty in their names at the designated meeting place instead of going and signing it themselves. The rumors of Pyrorean men being ugly were whispered by every lass in Alarion. The studies of dark dragon magic of Pyoria caused fear in the bravest soldiers. Traveling bards sang the songs of the huge silver dragon of the oldest prince of Pyoria to whoever would listen. Many an Illyrian murmured that King Liam had pushed for the truce because he had no dragon that was a match for the silver dragon. "Do you really think that my father expects me to marry the prince of Pyoria?" she asked furiously. "We have 3 full months to figure something out," snapped Nova. "Pull yourself together." The 3 months flew by and it was now her 18th birthday. They still had not discovered a way around the orders of the king. Ebony shook off the memories and sprang out of her bed. If this was the last day of freedom for her, she was going to go out fighting, even if it was crushing Davin one last time.